Hey guys, we're back with another Patreon question.
And Andrew Nash asks, I'd love to see a video of you talking about the modern generation of consoles. My friends and I constantly have problems finding new engaging games to play, and my friends blame it on games just suck now. And I don't think that's the case.
This is a great question because when I saw this, I was like, I absolutely don't think that games today suck. I love playing new games, don't you?
Yeah, and I think actually since like the PS4 and this generation came out, my ratio of like playing new games to retro games has shifted greatly. Yeah,
I think the power, especially of this generation, is up to the point where it's able to do some amazing things, some really great open world games, and so we took it upon ourselves as a little challenge to show you some modern games that we think don't suck.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first?
Sure. And my first pick is now considered one of the best RPGs of all time.
Right.
So it's probably pretty good. And that is The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. And this game, most people got into the Witcher series with this game.
Yeah, it's true. I tried getting into the second one and had some trouble with the combat and stuff like that, so I was like, nah. But this one, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
The world is huge. Like, a lot of the areas in this game are, like, war-torn. So some of the places are kind of desolate, but not to say that they're empty either.
Right.
There's tons of stuff to do. The story's amazing. And this even got me to read the books.
Oh, really?
Which was really interesting because in a lot of the like smaller, fetchy side quest type things, a lot of them are chapters in the book.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
Well, you bring up the fetch quest. So, RPGs have been around for a long time, but usually those side fetch quests are kind of like, you do them because you need the XP or you want to level up here and there. But the amazing thing, and I think one of the most innovative things about this game is that the fetch quests or side quests often work themselves into the main story. Like I remember I was watching my wife play it, and she goes on a side quest, and it turns out to be this massive event that was critical to the story. It was, and there's a lot of moments in this game like that where it doesn't just have you go get the silver chalisman and bring it back for coin, you know?
And what I love about it too, to your point, is that even when you break down the quest, it does sort of sound like that, but they wrap so much story around even the smallest quest that you don't even notice. Like, they do such a good job with storytelling. This game is beautiful. It's like super captivating.
Yeah.
You play as Geralt, he's a witcher, which is basically a for-hire monster hunter. And he's kind of gruff and grumpy, and I love it.
No, it's definitely one of the best RPGs of all time. And, that's why we think you should get it.
Yeah.
All right, for me, is a game that I thought might have been good when it was announced, and then when I played it, I was blown away. And that is Horizon Zero Dawn. This game did not disappoint. What to say about this? I guess the thing for me, it's a brand new IP. It's a third-person action RPG-esque thing. It's an open world. Absolutely stunning visuals. The motion capture on the faces was just like next level stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just, what I like about it, again, it's a new IP that has a great beginning, a great middle, and also a solid ending. Like, it didn't just peter out at the end or anything like that. It's an amazing game. Got great reviews. I think everyone with the PS4 should own it. So
yeah. All right, and next up is Zelda Breath of the Wild.
One of the highest rated games in years.
I mean, I'm almost speechless was trying to tell you how wonderful this game is. And, I mean, this one, you can even get it on the Wii U as well.
Right.
Especially since Switches are a little bit hard to come by at the moment. But I can't, reiterate how good this game is. Like, it takes Zelda to this whole new level. And the world is so lush, so beautiful. There's something around every single corner. And they did a great job with even the gameplay mechanics. And it's a little bit beyond just, swing your sword and kill
or like ragdoll effects. This is way more like, I think the two things that this game really pushed forward is the open world aspect of other games have put stuff in corners everywhere, but in my opinion, every single hill, every single mountain, every single corner has something to discover. And also their use of physics in this game is second to none. Like to your point, other games have had some physics, but it's always felt kind of pre-manufactured, like, oh, here's like a little puzzle thing, and this game does it initially, but later on you can solve things in completely new ways. it's amazing.
Yeah, there's like a magnet power where you can kind of like, if there's metal blocks around, you can kind of build a way to get up. There's an ice power that you can get across water. And there's so many just different little mechanics that make it so you can solve things in so many different ways. Even like if you kill an Octorok, you can get an octo balloon, and then you can attach the balloon to a raft, and then that raft will float. Like,
yeah. Well, YouTube is full of videos of people doing crazy stuff in this game that Nintendo never anticipated people to do.
Yeah.
It's the other thing too. What I love about the Switch is that when people are on your friends list, you can go there and you can kind of see what people have been playing for how many hours. Well, you know this is a great game when every single person's like 70, 80, 150, 250 hours, and they're still playing it every night. What, 2 months, 3 months after it's... I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah. This game is beautiful, colorful, 100% worth it.
Yeah. All right, next up for me, I wanted to pick a first-person shooter because I'm a big first-person shooter fan, and I have been since the very beginning of time. You know, Doom, and then also Wolfenstein. Well, a complete surprise was the reboot of Wolfenstein, The New Order. So I wanted to bring this game up because, yes, it's a traditional first-person shooter. Yes, it's a Wolfenstein game, but I really felt like they rethought and reinvented that series with this because... I mean, it plays really well. It's got all the typical shooter mechanics, but the story is fantastic, and they do something that you don't typically see in a first-person shooter, is choice. There's a couple places in this game where you have to make some really difficult choices, which is more like an RPG, or, you know, and I loved it, you know. Really great game. I loved it to the very end.
And I mean, what's cool about that is there's still, I mean, this started like what, Commodore 64? Like before then?
Yeah, MS-DOS. I know, it's been a long time. Oh, that's right. The Commodore 64 version was, yeah, you're right. Wow, that's old school.
Yeah. Still going. And it looks beautiful on the PS4.
I know, and we got a sequel coming very soon, too.
And also looks awesome.
It does, I know. Hilarious, right?
All right, and next one is also a sequel for me, but that is Dragon Age Inquisition. And the Dragon Age series started, you know, on PS3 360. There's 3 of them now. This one is so, like, above and beyond any of my expectations, because I've been a fan of the Dragon Age series since the beginning. But this one, the worlds are so awesome. Like, you have different, like, regions that you can visit, and each of them have their own personality, their own fun side quest, and they're all vastly different. And I don't know, it's so much fun. And it's BioWare, so you can romance it up as well.
It seems like BioWare took the criticism of Dragon Age 2, which not everyone liked.
Yeah.
You know, I thought it was actually a decent game, and they just rethought it all and put it into this game. I mean, yeah, such a well-made game. Kind of almost like a little reboot to the series.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And people played that one like, okay, when's the next one coming out, you know?
Yeah, that's like my first thought when I beat this. I was like, okay, I want more.
Yeah.
And even the DLC for this game is fantastic. So there's so many hours of, you know, that you can get out of this game. I probably, you know, put 200 hours into this. The world is beautiful.
Yeah.
You play as the Inquisitor. You're trying to lead an Inquisition. You have all these, like, awesome BioWare-ish characters.
Yep. That they're known for.
Yeah. So the characters are all wonderful in this game, and highly recommend it.
Which reminds me that we're showing a lot of PS4 games here. That's because you and I collect mostly for the PS4 at this point. But a lot of these games are available on the PC and Steam as well as the Xbox One. So don't think that just because we're showing PS4 here, you know, you can get them on your system as well. But I don't know if this game, I'm sure this is probably on Steam. So this is Trials Fusion. Have you played this?
I haven't, but I've heard about how much fun it is.
It is so much fun. And, you know, I wanted to have a game on here that appeals to people who want to kind of quickly pick up something and play. Maybe they're not into long RPGs, whatever. A game that really surprised me. So Trials is where you have a dirt bike and, you know, you have all these really rough, tough terrain to kind of get through as quickly as possible. It's a physics-based racing game, but it's so much fun. Like, this is the kind of game when even when you fail, you're still having a great time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is. And the multiplayer is fantastic too. I think you can have up to 4 people racing at the same time. The way it handles that is really smart because if one person's sucking, it catches them up, which is really nice for groups. And also there is downloadable content from people, you know, who create it themselves, and some people have gotten very creative with the tracks in this.
That's awesome.
Just a really fun game that I think, you know, if you're an old school gamer and you're looking for something quick and fun to play, this is great.
Yeah. And another one that, you know, is super next gen and really, really surprised me.
Yes, me too.
Is Until Dawn.
And also Life is Strange.
So it just kind of brings in this whole, it's not a new genre, because adventure games have been around for a really long time.
Right.
But it's kind of bringing that adventure game, like, genre back.
Yeah.
And this game, I remember when someone told me about it, they're like, well, you played through like a teen slasher movie, and I was like, that sounds great. And then I played it, and I played it kind of multiplayer, where, because it's a one-player adventure game where I just like pass the controller down a line, basically. And it was so much fun. Played it in one sitting. You make so many like crazy decisions, and you can kill people off.
Oh, yeah. And this game is very similar. We picked both these for kind of similar reasons. They're, you know, adventure puzzle games, essentially.
Yeah, and it's kind of like what Telltale kind of brought back.
Yeah.
And then, you know, games like Until Dawn and Life is Strange just took them to that next level.
Yeah.
Both of these are so, so good.
Again, the reason why I like them is the choice. Is that I love those feelings in games where you're like, you know, where it's a hard choice. You're just, and you're trying to think, oh my God, how's this going to affect? And then later on, you're like, oh, that affected this, and that, you know what I mean? And it makes you want to replay it, right?
Yeah, and this one does that a lot.
A lot.
Some of your choices, like, completely change it.
Even the end.
Yeah.
You know, the ending was one of those things where you ask your friends, okay, well, what did you do? You know, you did that, really? You know, yeah, it was fun.
It was awesome. And another thing that they announced, that we're going to get another one.
Yeah.
So
I know, it's going to be killer.
Yep.
All right, the next one for me might be a little bit obvious. I kind of went back and forth about it, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the Switch. So this obviously came out on the Wii U. I feel like it's worth mentioning because not a lot of people maybe owned a Wii U.
Yeah.
And also, this is the definitive version of it. They made some slight little changes to the power-ups where now you can carry 2 of them, which is cool. There's also some options in there if you're not very good at racing games that you can turn on to, you know, still have fun.
Yeah.
You know, like the auto drive, where it bumps you around if you want to. And then also, it just has so many tracks. It's packed full of stuff.
Yeah, because this includes all the DLC that came out for the Wii U version. So it's kind of like a Game of the Year version remake plus.
Yeah.
Like an added battle mode. It's so much fun.
Yeah, it's just it's the definitive version of Mario Kart. If you like these kind of games, you should own this. It's fun. I play it almost every night.
Yeah. And I think this, you know, it might be one of my favorite Mario Kart games.
Yeah.
Like this and Double Dash and 64. I think it just so surpasses any of the, you know, more recent new ones.
Yeah, I would agree. Definitely. So next up for me is a game that, unfortunately, as of the filming of this video, does not have a physical version. However, it has been announced that it is going to be coming.
Oh, awesome.
I know, because it's a game that I think is... I was surprised how much fun I had with it. It's Velocity... I wrote a little note here. Velocity times 2, or 2X, essentially. It's a sequel. I played it on the PlayStation 4. It also came out on the Vita. This game, oh my God. So if you're an old school top-down shooter fan, it has all that, but it has a jumping mechanic where basically it's a crazy game. So you control a ship and you're shooting, right? But then you have the cursor that you can put in other parts of the screen and then immediately leap to.
Oh.
So for instance, you'll see a wall coming and sure enough, on the other side of another wall is your next path. And it also, every once in a while, you get out of your ship and then it turns into a 2D platformer.
Oh.
And that part is really fun too. None of it actually feels very tacked on or, you know, why they do that. It's seamless. And also too, it's kind of a speedrunning game, so it's designed to be played very fast. And so you see people online who are just like getting amazing times going through these levels. A fantastic game. I absolutely love it. It's got a great soundtrack. I highly recommend it. So.
All right, and next up isn't really... Well, you'll see. So I just wanted to mention these because the PS4 has so many, like this generation really, has so many like HD remakes, but some of these are, you know, they're the definitive version.
Yeah, I would agree.
Particularly the BioShock one.
Yes.
It includes all the DLC, all 3 games. It's so good. I went just back through and replayed all of them. They look beautiful.
And that's the thing too, is that, you know, sometimes when you're in older games, yes, the gameplay might have been excellent, but sometimes it's nice to have a remaster to bring it up to true HD. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they've done it with tons of games. Like, I feel like I have a big stack here, but like, this is just scratching the surface.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, they even brought back Parappa. Like,
I know. I was surprised to see that, actually. It's pretty funny.
So, I mean, like Resident Evil 4, Dishonored, Skyrim.
Yep.
Like, they're doing such a good job with these, like, kind of bringing back these, you know, not necessarily old IPs, but old enough that it's so nice to see them get this treatment all over again. And a lot of people are like, well, would you replay it? Some of these, Yes.
Yeah. I
totally.
mean, a good game is a good game.
Yeah.
And so sometimes some of the small improvements that they make, whether it's the frame rate or maybe the textures or maybe the load times, but that's the definitive version of a game that you might love. Why not get it? And sometimes it's cheaper too. So.
Yeah, especially like the BioShock one, all DLC, all free, and I think it came out at 60 and it's probably not 60 anymore.
Right.
So worth it.
Yeah. Well, such a great question. I mean, we could have gone on and on and on. And also too, I think this is kind of a common complaint for our gamers who have been around for a while. They're not making any good games anymore. Only the good stuff is, or only the old stuff is good. Yeah. And that's not true. I think if you look hard enough, you look at the reviews, you'll find stuff.
Yeah. There's even my PS4 collection, and I don't buy like every release.
Right.
It's grown so much. There's so many games to play.
Yeah, it's true. Well, that was a great question. We thank you very much. We'd love to know down in the comments, what modern games do you think don't suck? So let us know. All right. Thank you very much. This question was asked by one of my Patreon contributors who help support my YouTube channel and help shape the content of my videos. In addition to asking questions like this, they also get access to a private chat, an audio podcast, and early access to most of my Friday videos. You can also set the amount you want to contribute, and you can leave or change it at any time. If you'd like to help support my videos and become part of the Metal Militia, please go to patreon.com/MetalJesusRocks.